is, why should I care about expansion? I mean,
Because you can't feel good. Because life insists that you've expanded. And if you don't care about how you feel, if you've become more and you don't go, you don't feel good. That's why you should care. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You can't stop your expansion. You got to expand if you're eternal, and you're eternal, so you got to expand. You can't cease to be.
I guess it was more on the level of the universe, that the universe expands, the importance of the universe expanding.
The importance of it is that it's inevitable. The importance of it is that it's been trending that way so long that it will always be. Eternity, does that mean anything to you? Never-endedness?
I think it's a difficult concept.
It is, isn't it? But these conversations help. Mm-hmm. You know when this really starts to make sense to you? Is when you're really consistently in alignment with who you are, and you get glimpses of the universe from your broader perspective, and you feel what that feels like. Have you ever been in a phase of your life where there was something particularly wonderful happening, and you thought, I want this to be like this forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. I always want this. I want this. I want this. I want this to just last and last and last and last and last. That's how you feel from non-physical. That's what non-physical feels like. It's like, yes, more, more, more. More is the mantra of the non-physical. More, 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 more what? More. But why? Because it's delicious, because it's fun, because it's exhilarating, because it's life, because you cannot cease to be. So since you cannot cease to be, but you have choices of how you feel while you're being it, every now and again you rest and you just remain in non-physical, where it's pure positive energy all the time. But you are consciousness focused into the physical. This is the leading edge, because this is where the new juice comes from. This is where the new contrast and the new variety. Do you know that this combination of beings has never been before in all of the universe? There has never been a more leading edge conversation than the conversation that is happening right here, right now. This is new to the universe. Can you even try to fathom a little bit how non-physical is responding to this expanded conversation? Not just expanded in that you're going to catch up and be on the leading edge. The leading edge is expanding as a result of this experience here, this conversation here in physical form. That's what you do. That's who you are. So our work, our part of it is just to remind you that it's natural and that it's inevitable, and to try to talk you into lightening up just a little bit so you can enjoy the process more.
Can I ask one?
Yes.
I have kind of this trying to understand the whole big picture.
Let's just start using a different word. Mm-hmm. I'm going to feel my way rather than understand the big picture, because that's about thinking. I want to feel. And what is it you want to feel?
Well, sometimes I think of, I can picture us as like a big ant farm, and somebody's looking at us and saying, oh, look at what all they're doing or something, running around doing their lives. And is there...
Well, we feel you have judgment on the ant farm. Brace yourself. Non-physical enjoys the ant farm as much as it enjoys the human farm, because even the ants are having leading edge experiences. There's an evolution in all species.
But is it...
Now we're getting right to the heart of what you want to know.
But is it the... Our experience of looking at an ant farm, is that like non-physical looking at us? No,
because when you look at an ant farm, you might be interested and you might not. You might be fascinated and you might not. You might be knocked over by the brilliance of what they've got going on, and you might be oblivious to it. And non-physical is never oblivious to what you've got going on. Non-physical is never disinterested in what you've got going on. And non-physical feels the same way about the ant farm too.
I think that for now...
You said, I'm going to express myself in non-physical, and I'm going to choose an environment that is unique for me, that will evoke new experiences that will give me fresh starts on lots of ideas. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I feel that this is my greatest contribution to the natural expansion of that which is me and that which is all that is. And I'm doing it for this reason. It will feel really good to do it. Part of the time it might not feel that good, but that will make me want it to feel good. So a lot of my life experience will pose questions within me. And I will have the time of my life discovering the answers to those questions. Some of what I do will pose problems for me. And it will cause me to seek solutions. And I know that from the question to the answer and from the problem to the solution, there is a joyous ride to be had. And I'm not going for the solution or for the answer. I'm going for the ride on the way to it, because that's what satisfaction is. That's what the true essence of life is. I'm going to be consciously aware of my never expanded beingness. I'm going to be in on expansion. When someone says to you, like us, you are a creator. You are the creator. You are that which man wants to call God. You take the energy that creates worlds and you get to focus it. And the universe responds to your focus and creates a vibrational reality that generations that you can't even fathom will benefit from what you put into that vortex. And you say, okay, that's all well and good. And we say, and when you're on this leading edge, reaching and finding, then you get to feel the satisfaction of that in this lifetime. See, you are selfishly oriented because you only have perspective of self. But the self that is you is so much more expansive than you have allowed yourself to know. So as you begin to discover the full expansion of your authentic self, of your total self, of the whole of who you are, then you begin to revel in the details that express themselves. Humans have let themselves feel inferior because you misunderstand your relationship with what you call God. You are God. You misunderstand your relationship with that because you've deprived yourself of your understanding of who you are so much that now you can't even understand what that is. And then you assign characteristics, flawed premise characteristics, to what you think is God based upon the way disconnected man behaves with disconnected man. So you conjure a vengeful God. That's funny. You conjure a punishing God. You worry about death and there isn't even any of that. You let the physical manifestation limit your ability to know who you are. And so everything that we do in these gatherings together is to help you to, little by little, integrate, leading edge, integrate into the wholeness of who you are so that you can have a really good time here, now. And then you begin saying things and really meaning them, like, I never get it done and I can't get it wrong. So there's no reason for that punishment or regret. It's just reveling in the wonderfulness that is me and the wonderfulness that is the others. And an understanding that it's always working out, not just for me, but for everyone else. And then finding a propensity to look for the evidence of it working out in that wonderfulness way. That's really what the leading edge is. It's conscious awareness of how this universe works. And willingness to stand where I stand in appreciation of wherever I'm standing, because it's all part of the mix. So when we say step one is knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want, and asking, and step two is source answers it, and then step three is letting it in, that conscious awareness of how the universe works, simple as that. Ask, answer, realize. When you ask it, it's always revealed. You got to find a way to realize it. So we appreciate your never-ending questions. We appreciate Esther's never-ending willingness to find matching words to convey the blocks of thought that are coming back. This is leading edge. You don't need Esther for this. You have access to the leading edge. She stands as a representative and example of someone who is in this moment her authentic self, which answers that question even more. If the Esther part of it weren't here, this would be a whole different conversation, quite a bit more quiet. And if Esther weren't a vibrational match to source energy in this moment, there would be less leading edge conversation that would be happening. But feel your part in it too. The same is true of you, you see. And so make no comparison that what's happening here from the Esther format is more important, more significant, or more leading edge than what's happening from your format. Somebody's got to do the question in order for there to be a conversation, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Enough?
There's another million questions, but I
Say
think
what?
I say there's another million questions, but I think for today that's
And another million answers.
correct.
And isn't it nice that we have eternity to explore all of that with?
Yes.
In other words,
We have
no
time.
time shortage. And when you accept the eternal nature of your being, then there's no ever any time shortage consciousness, because no one said, go figure it out and get it all down, and this is your one and only chance, and big trouble for you if you don't get it figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Thank you.
Anybody still?